I think a good state representative, and this is hard to find in partisan politics, is one that brings their opposition to the table. What happens is you find a majority becomes what we call a candidate's base. And if that base can get them elected, which isn't a bad thing. I mean, this is our politics, but there is another group that is left out of the equation, and that's that opposition, that's that minority. And that's not to say that their voice doesn't need to be heard. Their needs are every bit as important as the people that voted for you. And so, to me, there's a lot to be admired in a representative who is willing to listen to their opposition. I think what I like most about campaigning is knocking on doors. It's your first real contact with your constituents. It's, I think, the most honest and sincere contact that you can have. And I think that your district, the people in your district, they want to see you out in the neighborhoods. You know, I think they really do. They want to get a feel for who you are. They want to know you're out working and being visible and being accountable. And it's, you know, there's nothing better than a sunny afternoon on a Saturday, and you know you've knocked on a couple hundred doors. You know, you really feel like you've gotten out there and worked to get your message out. So I love that part of a campaign. I think I'm a very good fit for state representative here. I think you really have to have someone who can go to Nashville and who can manage all the different ideas, concerns, and needs that a county and that an area and region as diverse as ours will require. I think the complaint that we've been hearing in the 7th District is that we don't have real representation, that we don't have a person that's down there fighting and standing up for our practical needs. What I've heard is that and what I've experienced is that we have representation that is down there doing what's called political posturing and riding on hot button issues that get people riled up but don't have any practical place in the lives of East Tennesseans. And so, number one, I recognize that. Number two, I understand that the most important resource we have here in East Tennessee is our human resources, and from musicians to artists to doctors and professors and educators across the board. We have some of the most talented people in the world right here in East Tennessee, and if those voices and visions aren't brought to the table, then the state loses out, then District 7 loses out, and that's the last thing I want as a father of two who's trying to raise kids in this community. I want the best, and the best can be had, but we have to have the right people down there asking the right questions and standing up for the right things. What I love about Tennessee, probably what a lot of people like, it's very diverse. The first thing that you fall in love with is the landscape, the geography, the beauty of the Smokies and the Appalachian Mountains, and it's gorgeous, it's breathtaking. People come from all over to just drive through East Tennessee. It's an honor to live here. It's a neat thing to be able to say I live in the region that I live in. One of the questions that obviously comes up here in Washington County in regards to my candidacy as a Democrat is, you know, what are my politics, what do I think? And many people are surprised to know that I'm a conservative. I think in most definitions of the word, I'm conservative. I have tremendous respect for life. I have a tremendous respect for our Constitution. I believe in less big government, and I believe in more human, personal responsibility. I think those are sort of the tenets of conservative or contemporary conservative thought, and I certainly fall in line with those. Here in Tennessee, state Democrats are conservative. It's a place I feel very comfortable, and these conservative Democrats have done many great things for this state, and I think will continue to do so in the future. I've always been someone who's loved competition. I've played sports all my life. Every time I stepped on a football field or a baseball field or whatever, I wanted to win. I wanted to be the best and do the best job, and competition it's in my blood, it really is. And I don't look at public service any different than that. I really want to compete, and I use that word purposefully. I'm competing now in a campaign, and I will be competing as a state representative for the resources that need to be directed to our district. I will be very particular about resources coming right back here to East Tennessee. There are other representatives for other parts of the state, but I will represent our region and our district, and so that will be priority one. I have a background in journalism. I've worked in broadcast and print. It's something that, to be completely honest, has, I think, greatly prepared me for this position as state representative. You know, a lot of what we're doing in journalism is we're collecting and managing information, and that's very much like the work of state legislators. You know, we have to learn very quickly. We have to learn on the fly on issues that have great impact in people's lives. So you have to be judicious, but you have to also be expeditious. You know, you're working on a clock. I think that my background suits me very well to hit the ground running, to learn quickly, to draw my resources in, manage that information, and make the best decision. My civic senses have certainly evolved over the years, and I understand more today the importance of being involved in a community. As a father and as a family man, you want to make your environment better. You want to make it better for yourself, and you want to make it better certainly for your kids. And so the best way to do that is to be involved. The more local that we can make government, the better off we are. I want people to know that regardless of whether I win this election or if I don't win this election, I intend to stay involved. I intend to try to accomplish the things that I would want to accomplish as a state legislator.